Boom. Mr. Potato coming out with a video. Okay, guys, it is President's Day, as you can see here. I am going to be ranking the presidents from SA, B, C, D, E, F to Z. I have patriotic American ASMR music going on here. So, warning, this video will contain some hot takes, alright? If there's a hot take, you're gonna be seeing this fella, alright? So, my very first hot take, we are coming out with the hot take here. Washington was a B-tier president here. He was an independent, but he was affiliated with the Federalists. Federalists are lame, alright? He did do a lot of good stuff because he was the first president of the country and, you know, kind of a legend, but, you know, he had that Hamilton economic policy in him. L. Big L. Okay, he's not far down though. Just most people would place him up here. He's a B tier. John Adams. Bro is also a B tier. He's like a Hamilton stan. We do not stan Hamilton here on the Mr. Potato YouTube channel. Alright. His handling of the French Revolutionary Wars leading to the XYZ affair, terrible. But he was kind of good because he was independent from like a political party. So that's rejecting Washington's influence. But that whole XYZ affair, kinda lame. XYZ affair, kind of lame. Jefferson, S tier. I love Jefferson. He's my favorite early president. He got rid of the Alien and Sedition and his Alien and Sedition Acts. Economic policy on top. Alright. He got us the freaking Bill of Rights. That's pretty awesome. And he did have a large influence on all this stuff on other early presidents. So that's pretty sick. The one thing he did is he is the first president to really start the build-up for the Civil War, which we're going to be seeing a lot of that. I'm going to be saying build up to the Civil War a lot. He talked about states' rights. States' rights, you know, they're alright. But he kind of invented that. And that, states' rights, kind of led to the Civil War. Because states' rights to do what exactly? Own slaves? Okay, James Madison, C tier. Started War of 1812. Gets jack out of that. It just kills a bunch of Americans. And that's kind of the only notable thing, dude. Like, he just spent the whole presidency going to war. He just, okay, you're inaugurated. You start a war, you get nothing out of it. Terrible. Monroe. See? The Monroe Doctrine was kinda based, and we kept using it for like 100 years after his presidency. But, the Missouri Compromise, dude, did not do...
At Amica Insurance, we know it's more than just a house.
Ignore that. Missouri Compromise, not enough to stop Civil War. You're just adding slave states. L. That's a big L. Okay. John Quincy Adams. I'm a John Quincy hater, dude. Alright, hear me out. He starts the tariff of 1828. That's again, Civil War. He's alright with the domestic social policy besides, you know, the racist stuff and slaves and stuff. But that tariff of 1828, that sucked for southern states, dude. If you lived in the South, I mean, obviously, probably not a good person unless you were one of the slaves. But, you know, that really pissed him off. Andrew Jackson. E. E, I am a prominent Andrew Jackson hater. We do not like Andrew Jackson here. Here's why. Trail of Tears, excuse me, this is not... I am not a big fan of the Trail of Tears. Economic policy, terrible. He started the Panic of 1837, which impacted, like, everybody up to here. Like, 4 presidents. What is up with that? He messed up so bad in his economic policy that he messed up 4 presidents' economies. Terrible. And he recognized the Republic of Texas. What the freak is up with that? I don't think... I mean, he couldn't have possibly known what would happen to Texas in the future. But that was not a good decision with hindsight, dude. Okay. Van Buren. D. He's like a mini Jackson, but he wasn't as bad. Trail of Tears, he continued that. Economic policy, continued that. Republic of Texas, he's literally just a mini Jackson. But he did found the Democratic Party, or the Democratic Republican Party. So, you know, he's got that for him, so he's not as bad as Jackson. Jackson's just an idiot. Oh well. What do you even want me to do here? Like, you didn't... I don't know. He was a slave owner, so that sucks. But, you know, he didn't get to do many bad things, so... whatever. John Tyler. Frick Van Buren. Hell yeah, I can get behind that. Good foreign policy. Okay economic policy with the tariff of 1842, but he was inept and he failed to execute. But overall, one of the better early presidents. I, for one, really like John Tyler. James K. Polk. Dude. Frick Polk, dude. Frick Polk. Manifest destiny, bruh. He ran on the one thing, he did the thing, and then didn't run. So that's kind of funny. But, manifest destiny, I think the mass murder of millions of Native Americans is actually bad. But, I'm from Oregon, so without him, I might have been British. So, I am grateful for that. That's why he's not an E. Because I am not British. Okay. Zachary Taylor. Deep. Hear me out. The Wilmo Proviso. Good. Good. Ending slavery in the Mexican Cession, I would say, is good. Ending slavery is good. Hear me out. But he did jack to fix the Civil War and worsen disputes because of that. Could he really have stopped it? He could have done better, though. He could have done better. Millard Fillmore. Again, there are a lot of presidents that just... I put them in D because they didn't do anything to fix the Civil War, man. The Compromise of 1850... it was bad. It was racist. But, you know, it stopped the war for a little bit. But I do like his foreign policy. I can say a nice thing about him and still put him in D tier because he was racist. Franklin Pierce. F! I hate Franklin Pierce, alright? He was worse than these two because... He really went hard on that Fugitive Slave Act, bruh. Like, okay, man. And the other Civil War stuff, like the Kansas and Nebraska Act, he didn't even do stuff to stop Civil War. He just made it worse. He made the northern states pissed off because he was doing all this slavery stuff. James Buchanan. The original tier list didn't have this, but I put a Z on there because James Buchanan is my least favorite president. I hate him. I hate James Buchanan. He was a worse Franklin Pierce. He did the racist stuff. Alright. He did next to nothing to stop the secession of Confederates. And he didn't even address slavery. His whole presidency. Oh, this is a completely normal thing for a country to have. Yeah, we'll just go with that. Worst president over all of these on preventing the Civil War. Emancipation Proclamation. You can say all you want. But Lincoln is an S tier. I think slaves should actually not have to be slaves. I think they should be free. What a crazy concept. Alright. Andrew Johnson. He's an E. He was a terrible Reconstruction president. Alright. He was mean to his cabinet. He couldn't work with his cabinet at all. He was mean to Congress. He couldn't cooperate with Congress. And he opposed a bunch of federal rights stuff for black people. What is up with that? Frick you, Andrew Johnson. How are you Lincoln's vice president? Ulysses S. Grant, B tier. He was a really good Reconstruction president. Enforcement acts, those were based. Let's be real. He was bad at choosing his cabinet, though, which is why he isn't higher. Civil right for black people, that is a much improvement on Johnson. Alright? I believe you should not have to... I believe that black people are actually not inferior to other people. What a crazy concept, bruh. Okay. Rutherford B. Hayes. The gold standard, dude. I think that was what was really good back in the day. I wouldn't say in 2024 I would accept a gold standard, but, back then it was working well. Nothing very good or very bad. There wasn't anything special, but there really especially wasn't anything bad, which is why he's B. Because he didn't do anything especially wrong. He just didn't do anything very good, which is what would get you into these top two. IMO. Chester A. Arthur, bruh. D. Cause bro, I can't believe this. Wait a minute. This is not Chester A. Arthur. I was thinking. I'm thinking, is that really? This is Chester A. Arthur, alright? This is Grover Cleveland, alright? Okay, I'm locked in. I apologize. Okay. Locked. Chester A. Arthur, he's a D tier because he passed the freaking Chinese Exclusion Act. Alright. That is a big L. And the Rivers and Harbors Act. Nah. I don't think we should have government spending, even if it's saving drowning people from drowning in the Mississippi. I do not... Arthur was a big L. Okay. Cleveland, the foreign policy was alright. We had Hawaii, we had Cuba. But his labor policy was trash, like stifling the Pullman strike. What the frick? Why would you do that? Okay, Benjamin Harrison. That's obviously a B. His foreign relations were okay. I really liked his economic stuff. And he did the National Forest Service. Thank you! William McKinley. See? Foreign relations, bad. Hawaii, Guam, Philippines, bad. Spanish-American War, bad. But he had a really good economic growth. So, there's your C, buddy. I'm not happy about it, but he kind of deserves it, alright? William McKinley. I just did William McKinley. I wrote the wrong one. Wait. Something's off here. Grover Cleveland's portrait messed me up, dude. I talked verbally about what they were. My notes say I'm supposed to be on Roosevelt. S. He messed up monopolies. He gave us national parks. Very economic left, which IMO. Left is good. And the foreign relations were beautiful. I love the foreign relations with this fella. Now, William Howard Taft. He's a mini Roosevelt. Except he wasn't very mini, he was kind of fat. Can't be good as him though, so that's why he's A. Woodrow Wilson. I love Woodrow Wilson. But he was kind of racist. B. Warren G. Harding. Yeah, all that controversy after the presidency was kind of a bad thing. But only going through what he did as a sitting president, economic policy, sucked because, he was a modern Republican. But rare, he wasn't racist, so I'll give him a C. Calvin Coolidge, E. Oh man, let's hop on the Calvin Coolidge hate train. He caused the Great Depression. Oh, but he was kind of good in social policy. Shut up! He caused the freaking Great Depression. Okay, we're done. D. Herbert Hoover. Enforced prohibition. Didn't do enough to halt the Great Depression. And his foreign policy sucked as well. FDR. My love! FDR! The New Deal! He got us out of the Great Depression. The only reason he isn't an S is because he could have done something to, World War II. I don't think he should have waited for Pearl Harbor. But after Pearl Harbor, he did really good in the war. So you can't complain too much. I could talk for years about FDR, but we're gonna be too long. Harry S. Truman. He sent troops into South Korea. The Fair Deal. The Fair Deal was cool. And we got the Marshall Plan to rebuild West Europe. W. Eisenhower. His actions led to the Bay of Pigs. He didn't like desegregation after Brown versus Board of Education. But he did do social programs and made NASA and made interstate highways, so good for him. JFK. I love JFK! He made the Peace Corps, the Clean Air Initiative. He did all the let's go to the moon. We went to the moon. It was awesome. The foreign policy was okay, but not because of the Cold War. LBJ. I love 100% of his domestic policy. If no other countries existed, he would be an S tier president. But he got us into Vietnam and he messed up the Cold War. Watergate! What more is there to say? He pardoned him. And he messed up the economy. But he wasn't actually the fellow doing Watergate. So I guess we're fine with him. Jimmy Carter. B. His foreign policy was good. I think the US should focus on human rights. in foreign policy. But he was against Ted Kennedy's health insurance stuff. But he handled the energy crisis and the recession really good. So, considering that, he's beat. Reagan, he messed up the environment. He sold guns to Iran. Iran-Contra affair. What is up with that, dude? Plus, Reaganomics suck. George H.W. Bush, you're also a C. You're a modern Republican. I hate Clarence Thomas a lot, and Clarence Thomas is so old that he was nominated by this fellow. He invaded Panama, and the stuff with Iraq was pretty bad. B. He protected abortion, he protected welfare reform, he protected health insurance for children. I think those things are good. But he did bomb the Balkans. The Monica Lewinsky, and the pardons at the end of his term were kind of whack. LOL. George H.W. Bush. Look at Afghanistan. He tried to ban abortion. No Child Left Behind Act was good. Good. But the Patriot Act was dumb. He made TSA to make my airport experience worse. And it didn't even stop 9/11. That's a logical thing to say. Didn't even stop 9/11. Obama. Solid B tier. Modern Democrat. Wasn't perfect. But his healthcare stuff, I think, was very good, and if Congress just cooperated with him, it would have been a lot better. These last two, I'm just gonna put this fella here, or something. I don't know. These last two. He pulled us out of the Paris Climate Accords. Domestic policy was awful. Social conservatism, pretty lame. Fiscal conservatism, pretty lame. Conservative, pretty lame. No political experience. His rhetoric's bad. I better stop myself because I didn't say that much about some of the other fellas. And then Biden, he could mess something up in the next 6 months, but right now he's doing alright. Doing what he can. That is my tier list of all 57 American presidents so far. And that's the video. Outro! Also, I'm not going to edit this because I want to get it out on the same day. Oh well, it's going to be awful to watch.